Hi HCG family, this is Stephanie again, and I am on very low calorie day 43, and I set up my camera today on a tripod, so hopefully it's better and you can see me a little better. I'm sorry about the quality yesterday. But today I thought that I would go over about 20 HCG diet tips that might help other HCG dieters out. I am on day 43. I'm up 0.2 of a pound today, which is no big deal. For the last 6 days I've actually dropped weight, so I'm amazed that I've gone that far without either stalling out or gaining, because usually my weight fluctuates quite a bit. So 0.2, no big deal. I did have a Diet Coke last night. I don't have those very often. I know they're not good for you. I just really wanted one, so I had one last night. That could have been part of the issue, but no big deal. So anyway, let's go over some diet tips. Some of these you may know, some you may not know, so we'll just kind of go over a few of them. This is kind of a trial and error thing that I've learned through the first 43 days now of this diet. The first diet tip is that you really need to weigh everything and calculate your calories. One of the biggest mistakes that I made early on into this diet is that I do follow Dr. Simeon's pounds and inches protocol, but I wasn't weighing my fruits and my vegetables. I weighed my meats. I calculated my 100 grams worth of meat in my little 23 calorie breadstick, but I was just kind of thinking that I could pick out one fruit and one vegetable for each meal. The problem is, fruits and vegetables weigh differently. Lettuce obviously weighs a lot less than a tomato or an onion, and the calories are different. So, after I didn't do too well near the beginning of the diet, I kind of examined what it was that was working for me and what wasn't working for me. And I discovered that I was actually eating over my 500 calories per day. So then I started weighing everything. I got a good quality digital scale. I bought this scale right here. This is an Eat Smart digital kitchen scale, and I bought it off Amazon for about $25. And it's great because it's accurate. The scale that I started out on was a cheap Walmart scale that was not digital. It wasn't accurate. It seems like it reset itself every time that I would put food on it. So I invested in a good quality scale, and I think that that is very important. I calculated my calories. What I did was I took my 100 grams of meat and my breadstick, and I calculated those calories first. And if you want to estimate your 500 calories divided into 2 meals, that would be about 250 calories a meal. If you're trying to be even, it's not a big deal. I've eaten 200 calories at one meal and 300 at another. It's just whatever you want to do. But take your meat, and if you're eating your breadstick, some people don't eat their bread. They feel like it makes them gain weight. But take your meat and your bread, deduct that from the calories that you'd like to eat for that meal, and then you've got a total number of calories left. Now from there, you can calculate what you want to do with it. Obviously, lettuce weighs practically nothing. You can have a couple 100 grams of lettuce, which is a lot, for less than 40 calories. So obviously tomatoes and onions would weigh more. A tomato weighs about 0.18 of a gram, 0.18 calories, sorry, per gram, and a tomato is very heavy. A tomato, a big tomato, can easily be well over close to 200 grams. So, and same thing with onions. Now, I've read different opinions of this. People have said, oh, tomatoes or onions make me stall, and one of the biggest problems that I see, in my own opinion, is that the reason why those things might be making them stall is maybe they're not calculating how many calories are in those items. So to me, that's very important. So definitely do that, work on that, getting into your 500 calories. What I do is I take just a little post-it notepad and I write on there what my lunch is and I deduct it, and then I do the same thing with my dinner, and I just keep this near my kitchen scale, and it's really, really handy. So the second diet tip that I have is on weighing yourself. Some people obsess over the scale and they think that they should weigh themselves several times a day. Well, the problem with that is that your weight tends to fluctuate a lot. Your weight, you're going to be heavier after you drink a lot of water, you're going to be heavier after you eat. So weigh yourself one time per day, and that is it. And I would recommend that you weigh yourself in the morning after you've gone to the bathroom. And the same way, you know, you can get into your underwear, whatever you prefer. Same way, same time, every day before you've eaten, and that is it, just once a day. Okay, and the next thing that I recommend is you need to measure yourself. This protocol, if you're following the original protocol by Dr. Simeon's, it's called pounds and inches. A lot of times when we are not losing pounds, we will be losing inches. It's the sculpting part of this diet. So it's very important that you measure yourself. I didn't measure myself early on. I just started measuring myself a couple weeks ago, but I really noticed even at times that the scale wasn't moving much, I was shaping and dropping inches. I think that you need a good quality measuring tape. I invested in this measuring tape right here, and it's called Myotape, and it's absolutely awesome. It's only like $5 or $6 off of Amazon, and I would highly recommend it. It wraps around your body, very easy to use, slides in and out. The 2 inches, it starts at the 2-inch mark because 2 inches is figured up right here, and you just wrap it around your body and adjust, and then you read what's coming out of the tape. It's very easy and it's great. Okay, so very important, measure yourself once or twice a week, and that will help keep you encouraged. Okay, so the next thing is you need to get plenty of sleep. Okay, if you're waking up in the middle of the night, that is going to have an effect on your weight loss. You need to get a good amount of sleep. I think our body does a lot of things at night that are very important. Okay, so number 5, drink plenty of water. In Dr. Simeon's original protocol, he talked about this, and he recommended 2 liters of fluids per day. Now, fluids, he included coffee and tea and things like that. Personally, I don't do that. I do not include those kinds of fluids in there. So anyway, what I do is I drink my coffee and my tea, and then I calculate my water, and I drink a lot of water. I was drinking 3 liters, and I upped it to a full gallon because my body, for me, seems to do very well with a gallon of water. You know, it's just going to depend on what you want. I know it's really hard to drink water. I'm not a big water drinker, so that's been a real challenge for me. But I do get it in, and I get it in early, so I'm not up all night. I try to get all of my water in by about 7, maybe 8 o'clock if I'm going to bed at midnight. Try to get it in early so you don't get interrupted sleep. But anyway, that's part 1 of the 20 diet tips, and I will be back for the next amount. That was only the first 5 diet tips, so I'm going to make another video with some more diet tips. Thanks for watching. Bye!